There are more of us than them. Nobody's watching cable news. There are websites, there are YouTube channels. With one episode, they have more people watching than CNN does for the entire month. This is the future. All of a sudden, when you get somebody who's big, somebody who's a name, somebody who comes forward and gets some momentum to this, the public will scream for more Epstein information. They don't really understand it yet. Remember, we're smarter than they are. Don't tell anybody I said this, but we know more than they do. And we have to teach them almost like children. We have to say, come with us. Come on, Mike. Do your thing about Pizzagate. Hang on. Because the first thing they want to do is dismiss you. That's their defense mechanism. They love calling you a conspiracy theorist. They love that. We're going to fix that. I know what's right, and I'm going to keep going. You can't stop me. And one day when it becomes hip to talk about this, you won't be able to go anywhere without hearing about Epstein.
Do you think Jeffrey Epstein was a spy?
I believe very strongly he was a spy, yes.
And who do you think he was working for?
The Israelis. I'm confident it was the Israelis.
Could it be that Jeffrey Epstein just had a completely different life that he just did not tell you about? And it may also have included being a spy. I mean, clearly...
Telling me that he worked for the Mossad would have given him a get-out-of-jail-free card. I could have gotten him no jail time. If he had told me he worked for the Mossad, for the CIA, it would have been a slam dunk for me to go to whoever I had to go to, even up to the President of the United States, and I would have gotten him a deal with no time at all.
Hang on a second. You mean if he'd said he was working with the Mossad or CIA, then he would get off being a pedophile?
That's right.
What bullshit this is, that Bondi, Clowndy. It's disgusting that they're redacting all this stuff and won't showing what's going on here. And you look at this international people that are involved in this thing, and they're very rich. And again, you look at these guys, as we say in the Bronx, they couldn't get laid with a fistful of $10 bills in a whorehouse. Who the fuck would fuck these guys, other than you gotta pay a lot of money to get laid? Yeah, look at this fucking bullshit that they won't release these files. This is disgusting. You know why? Because there are a bunch of disgusting little pricks in a country near you.
Doing personal work for the Rothschild family in France. Well, specifically, I talked to Ellie de Rothschild, and so I mentioned that earlier. So he represented their whole families. There have been a whole bunch of people. Most of them I never would have met, but I knew Ellie. He would say, like, I'm providing financial advice to the founders of Google. I'm providing financial advice to Jeff Bezos.
He was running a complex spy operation for the purposes of blackmailing famous individuals and trading that information with Israel's Mossad. Now, as conspiratorial as that may well sound, and I understand that, think about this. I mentioned Ghislaine Maxwell a short time ago. Her father, Robert Maxwell, was a British press tycoon who was long known to be an agent of Israel's Mossad.
What most people don't appear to understand is that it's Ghislaine Maxwell who was the Mossad officer. Jeffrey Epstein was actually her employee. Ghislaine Maxwell is the daughter of Robert Maxwell, the most famous Israeli spy in modern history, who created the computer penetrations of all governments, particularly the US and Canadian governments, with a program called Promise. Israel has pioneered both pedophilia entrapment and computer security penetration, computer penetration with back doors. There is absolutely 100% certainty that Jeffrey Epstein was working for the Mossad, and he was also under some kind of protective arrangement with the CIA and the FBI in the United States of America.
Now, in my book, we speak to a former Israeli spy, Ari Ben Mashani, who confirms a late 1980s meeting in which Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Maxwell, and Ghislaine Maxwell met with him to effectively turn over the business of spying to Ghislaine and Jeffrey.
Jeffrey Epstein was not about this. It wasn't about sextortion. He was into banking. He was into money laundering. This guy went back all the way to weapons trafficking with Adnan Khashoggi. The storyline is that it's about sextortion. That's not it. He represents the tip of the iceberg of a level of evil that for you to explain this, I'm telling you right now, people will look at you and they say, you're out of your mind. Why? Because they don't want to admit that people like this exist. They don't want to admit that people like this share our DNA. And by the way, whatever you think you know, it's not even close.
This is disgusting that they won't release this stuff. Because it's showing you the criminality of the crime syndicate that morons and imbeciles call a government. And the fucking bullshit that they throw out there.
Although the music video makes it appear that all the images were drawn solely by Bieber's fans, according to the Brewer brothers, who directed the music video, they did indeed draw, quote, some of the images. Which drawings do you think were created by the Brewer brothers?
The depravity, the sickness, the range, just when you thought you knew, just when you had an idea, it's almost goes to show you this organic evil. Forget the DOJ, forget that. That we make the justice. We're the vigilante crowd. We're the truth patrol. We're the pitchfork and torch crowd. We can do more damage with what we say than anybody from the Southern District, which would take years to come to trial. I mean, this is the way we get retribution. This way, call them out, expose them.
Here's the second most important email from the Epstein files. Subject line, prepare for pandemics. Written on March 19th, 2015. In that email it says, let's discuss next steps. For example, how to involve the World Health Organization. I hope we can pull this off. Now we know that Bill Gates and Epstein were close because in another email, Gates is asking Epstein to give him antibiotics to slip to his then wife Melinda because he may have given her STDs that he caught on Epstein Island.
Apparently Jeffrey wrote an email to himself.
What? And then they gave that guy the mandate to push vaccines on all of us. And to add insult to injury, we the people have to watch his ass walk freely and lecture us on climate change at the World Economic Forum. Now this is not a moment for us to tell the people who didn't believe us, I told you so. It's a moment for all of us to come together and push back against these evil, deceptive, miserable rats.
Please be very careful. Listen, Zoran Mamdani is a twit. He's a benighted moonbat and he's my mayor. But be very careful, especially with AI right now. I don't know what to believe. I don't know. There's pictures of him in the delivery room with Epstein. Be very careful. That being said, pursue the truth, but always ask, how do I know what I know? This is the epistemological point of view. And to keep the fight up. Scotty and Mike, keep it up. I don't need ABC to validate what I'm doing. I know what's right, and I'm going to keep going. You can't stop me. And one day when it becomes hip to talk about this, you won't be able to go anywhere without hearing about Epstein and teaching parents how to protect their children.